Hi, my name is Mike. I'm a professor for social work management, and you are listening to Managing Around, the bi-weekly podcast about social science, culture, and management. Managing Around is part of the Talk About Organizations podcast network, a community resource and discussion platform for key ideas in management and organization studies, which is supported by our listeners.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this new episode, which is about cross-institutional blueprints for the adoption of VR in higher education. Virtual collaborative learning and teaching benefits from using immersive technologies. It helps to develop key competencies such as collaboration, virtual communication, and problem-solving skills, as well as social and digital skills. Virtual reality, or VR, that uses information technology and behavioral interfaces to simulate the individual behavior in the virtual world supports experiences of immersion and presence. Based on such technology and its uses in higher education, we conducted at our university an Erasmus Plus project together with 3 European universities from Cyprus, France, and Germany in the field of hospitality and tourism management. The so-called Hotel Academy project aimed at the development of a joint curriculum for a VR roleplay that allows for virtual interdisciplinary, international, and intercultural collaboration. Based on research in this project, we developed cross-institutional blueprints to support the adoption of VR scenarios such as this, also at other European universities. In this episode of Managing Around, I will first make you familiar with the project and then describe what these blueprints are. I hope that this can inspire you to do similar things in your teaching or EdTech project. Let's start with the description of the Hotel Academy project. The Hotel Academy Research and Development Project, what has been finished in 2021, intended to pilot different role-play scenarios for students and lecturers at institutions specialized in tourism and hotel management. But it could also be used otherwise in different other study programs. The project aimed at developing and evaluating a digital framework to create virtual immersive experiences and at making recommendations for the implementation of VR role-play scenarios in higher education institutions. Moreover, the project helps to better understand structural and pedagogical barriers and seizing new opportunities in universities to support the transfer of knowledge and to enforce sustainability of the framework. More specifically, a virtual reality learning environment gives a unique chance to manage a variety of circumstances compared to actual life experiences in these domains. This roleplay activity was incorporated into a standard study module called Hospitality Management of 2 bachelor's degree in their final year and in 1 master's degree program the first year of the participating universities. The exercise has been tailored to the students' needs and lasted in total about 45 to 60 minutes, including 15 to 20 minutes of VR experience. The scenario is embedded in a synchronous online collaboration and included players from the 3 European universities. Head-mounted displays, or alternatively a desktop-based VR environment, enabled users complete VR immersion. Each user can design their own avatar, ensuring the greatest possible VR engagement and communication. After this description of the Hotel Academy project, I come now to the second aspect of today's episode, and I will speak about the development of cross-institutional blueprints. Based on a thematic analysis of focus group discussions, semi-structured interviews with different stakeholders, and participatory observations in the VR role plays, we finally validated the underlying digital framework. This framework has been part of episode 34 of Managing Around. If you want to learn more, please listen to this episode again. This includes, for your summary, the dimensions of didactics, organization, technology, economy, the education system, the institution itself, and the individuals or users. The general feedback of all stakeholders, and not only the students, on the immersive experience was very positive. Respondents felt that the role play was very practical, realistic, and overall allows participants to apply all the different knowledge they got in different courses into just one simulation. Despite the positive resonance, they also discussed several issues that need improvement and optimization in future iterations. Based on the validation of this underlying framework, transnational and cross-institutional blueprints have been developed for the implementation of this specific VR environment and higher education institutions. Blueprints describe and analyze the relationships between different components of empirical research. In terms of the Hotel Academy project, the blueprints were developed based on the dimensions of the didactical framework, as I mentioned before. Furthermore, the requirements from the different institution systems, the institutions themselves, and the individual users or students, so to say, were also taken into consideration. 3 possible blueprints for the implementation and adoption into other European higher education institutions are as follows. First, the prototyper. With this specific strategy, higher education institutions introduce new technology in an experimental context. At an early stage in the creation of new teaching and organizational models, prototypes were created and tested in different educational contexts. Prototyping should involve the following steps. To implement new technologies, it is necessary to identify the problem or challenge and the barriers that need to be addressed, then ideate solutions to the problem, and after that, evaluate the developed prototypes. Prototyping ensures the development and adoption of new concepts and approaches. Secondly, there is the synergist. This strategy emphasizes how universities may incorporate new technical and educational concepts into current labs, departments, programs, and initiatives. For example, an existing mixed reality lab can provide basic IT support and knowledge gathered from previous initiatives to assist pedagogic innovation processes. Analog and digital ideas, processes, and technologies must be conceived together, synthesized and integrated inside the organization and inside the network of projects with partners outside the organization. Finding synergies requires collaboration across several actors and departments. And third, there's the type of multipliers. Experts, teams, and organizations may spread ideas, concepts, and processes to a broad audience that can embrace new technology in their institutions. Additionally, a multiplier is an organization that shares solutions with others to help them improve. Other educational institutions, such as vocational or technical training providers or any other educational program that follow similar learning goals, are also able to use the VR roleplay created in this project. Please let me express a limitation. Such blueprints are no simple representation of the universities involved in this project, but emerged from our qualitative data analysis as part of the recommendations from the involved stakeholders and experts. The blueprints demonstrate empirically grounded archetypes of different states in which higher education institutions can locate themselves. Finally, let us conclude the main thoughts of this episode. Virtual collaborative learning and teaching benefits from using immersive technologies to develop competences such as collaboration, communication, and problem-solving skills. As such, we conducted an Erasmus Plus project at our university, the so-called Hotel Academy project, aimed at the development of a joint curriculum that allows for virtual interdisciplinary, international and intercultural collaboration between 3 European universities from Cyprus, France and Germany in the field of hospitality and tourism management. Based on research in this project, we developed cross-institutional blueprints to support the adoption of VR scenarios also at other European universities. The blueprints demonstrate empirically grounded archetypes of different states in which higher education institutions can locate themselves. If you are interested in this kind of research, please contact me or scroll through the article mentioned in the show notes that has been published this week.
Thank you for listening. Managing Around, the bi-weekly podcast about social science, culture and management. Managing Around is part of the Talk About Organizations podcast network, a community resource and discussion platform for key ideas in management and organization studies, which is supported by our listeners. If you liked this episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast website. There's also a link in the show notes. If you've got any thoughts on this episode, or if you've got any idea about new podcast topics or questions you'd like to discuss, send me an audio file or voice note to hi@profmanagement.de. For any non-audio comments, drop a tweet or DM to @profmanagement on Twitter or Instagram, please. For more information, visit my website www.profmanagement.de. Thank you for listening and see you next time.